All right, 2002 Ford Windstar. Got a tear in the seat. Not a big deal. Should be an easy stitch job. Sew that up just to prevent it from tearing out more. Take it cushion off though. Gotta take the seat off. Seat is bolted from underneath the vehicle. But it's also, I've already started on this one here. It's got 4 nuts holding it to this metal bracket. One here in front on each side. If you look back there in the back, if it'll focus. And anyway, there's another one in the back. And likewise on the other side. So right there and straight back from it. I'm gonna unplug that little plug there, which is really a dummy plug because I don't have power seats. Just squeeze the tab and pull it off. Alright, I'm going to try not to give vertigo again. Using a 1/2 inch deep socket to get those bolts off, or nuts rather. So I'm going to start cranking them off and then show you the next step. Alright, something you can notice about these. If you look at the top, it's kind of like squeezed up there at the top. It's a pinch kind of nut. It helps hold it on. It's like a locking nut. Now, got all 4 of those out. I only got one person here, myself. So, but you see, it just lifts right up and out of there now. I'll pause it again. All right, let's see what's holding this on. To get the cushion off, you gotta remove this plastic shrouding. See what's holding it on here. We have a Torx. Looks like a Torx 30. I'll let you know in a second after I size it up on each side. Some clips up here at the front. Looks like they snap in there. It's got a head on a nut. I don't know if you can see that in there. So it spins out, but I'm wondering how this is attached through. It might just pop right out. For the first step, yeah, it looks like it's the only thing holding it on. First step is remove these Torx bits, so let me try that next. Yeah, that's a T30. I just put it in a 1/4 inch socket on my ratchet. Alright, next step is you pop that out of there and it pushes down. You push down to get this lip off of the metal frame here. Alright, and you pull back a little bit, get that hooked on there. And then the only thing left is that little stud thing up there, which I'm going to work on that for a second and tell you how I did it. Pretty sure it's just going to pop out. I'm going to get a little pry bar and pop that out of there. Same on the other side, of course. Alright, to get that out, I'm using a 5/16 and just spinning it right out of the plastic. Spins it right out of there. And then to put it back together, we'll probably spin that nut, the stud back into there, and then snap it, pop it right back into here. Or I can just leave the stud as it is and screw it back into the plastic. Either way. Same on the other side. Now on the other side, I got that off of there. It's really no big deal. On the other side, we have the handle. Now that's got a split in the plastic, so it should pull right out of there. You just gotta separate it out of there. Same process. I'm gonna back out. I don't know if it'll focus on that. Back that nut out of the plastic. And you can see the back side of that after it comes out. It's coarse thread, so it screws into the plastic. Alright, now, the only thing holding the fabric on, and which is what I need to get to anyway, it's just hooked on this metal bar here. It's got these little hooks. It's hooked around the front. You gotta be careful, you got sharp metal edges. So you hook looped around there. It's all stretched and hooked on around the perimeter is all it is. And we'll snake that out. We'll peel it back, sew the stitches, and re-stretch it and reassemble. Alright, having unclipped the sides on both sides, to get the front, I just laid a wrench, pliers actually, and a little pry bar, and just pop it up. And that takes the tension off the front. There you go. Now the whole thing can peel right off. If I flip it over, if I wanted to, I could do that same thing in the back. I'm just going to leave it on the back. I just need to pull it over enough to stitch up my tear. Alright, flipped it back up again. Try to do this with one hand. See, the whole thing kind of lifts off there. I'm just trying to peel back the cushion, the layer of fabric. Looks like we're velcroed right here in the seam. That was expected, not a big deal. Just need to get back to where my tear is, which is here. And it's all, I can just use some thread and pinch that together and sew it up right there and put it all back together. I'm sure you don't need to see me sew. It's pretty easy, self-explanatory. And then reverse order to put it all back together. Alright, so I've completed sewing it up. I'm by no means an upholsterer or a fancy sewer. But I just looped it around, and then down the sides, and then I looped it around at the end, and then looped it the whole way back, and then fished the rest of it back through again, just to reinforce it. Nothing fancy. Used regular, ordinary, everyday, straight from Walmart sewing kit. Just gonna stretch it back over, lock it in, and you can see that can't even tell where it was. It's not going to tear any further at this point. I'll probably see if I have any kind of thin foam that I can reinforce this corner a little bit with. If I don't, no big deal. But put it all back together, reverse of what I did. Flip the seat back over, hook it all back into its Velcro spots and whatnot along the way, and come back when it's all done. Alright, it's worth noting, when you put this back together, do start with screwing in the back, or the front screw first, and then pry it back a little bit, and you can hook on that hook, and tuck in that little piece that hooks on the metal bracket down in there. It's the same on this side. And then the bolt last, basically exactly the opposite of what you did. To take it apart. It makes it a whole lot easier. Alright, I'd be remiss if I didn't show that it is indeed reinstalled and secure. The O-shake test. It's in there solid. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. It was an educational experience for me as well. 2002 Ford Windstar, removing the front driver's seat and stitching up the seam. Thank you.